What if I told you that I made over $2,000 a month consistently creating and texturing 3D models? Go ahead and hold that thought in your head. So you might be saying, well, that's easy, JL. You just got a job at a studio and that's how you were able to earn your income. And that answer is incorrect. Maybe you said you just picked up a couple of freelance gigs, and that answer is incorrect as well. Oh, maybe you're thinking, well, that's easy. You just sold some models on TurboSquid. And I'm sorry to inform you, that answer is wrong. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I made over $2,000 a month of passive income creating 3D models. I also wanna show you different ways to make a living as a 3D artist. And most importantly, I want to go ahead and change your mind frame on how to make money as a whole. So if that sounds good to you, it's a beautiful day outside. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here and go for a ride. What's my... You got my keys. You guys are always playing too much. Let's get out of here. Hey, one more thing. You think you could spot me a little bit of money? I need some gas. The way my direct deposit's set up is a mess, and I don't get paid till next week. And then my bank account's always, you know what? Don't worry about it. Let's get out of here. What's going on, you 3D modeling beasts? This is JL Musi, and today I want to talk about how I was able to make $2,000 a month of passive income selling my 3D models online. So what exactly is passive income? Well, passive income is just a different way of generating income, right? Of generating money. So most Americans, really most people over the world, they do not generate passive income. They generate active income where they're exchanging their time for for money, right? So as an artist, right, we make active income by either going to a studio and working there, right? We have to clock in, clock out. Maybe we're on salary, but pretty much we're exchanging our time for income. If you're a freelancer, you create a project for a client that takes up your time, then you get paid, so you're exchanging your time for income. So basically how passive income works, let's just say you take that same freelance scenario where you are working for a client, but instead of actually just selling your work as a one-time deal, you actually just sell them a license, right? So basically you can turn and actually sell multiple licenses to multiple people that want your work, right? So maybe you would charge that client less, right, for that license, or that person less, but you'll be able to sell it over and over and over. If you had a digital distribution where you could upload that file and sell it over and over, where you don't have to actively engage the client, go back and forth, talk about compensation, milestones, deadlines, then you really just set up a system where all the work can be done up front, and then once that system's in place, you sit back and collect the income, right? So if you've been around the internet enough, I will say this, anytime that I mention passive income to anybody, it's a lot of work, right? Especially if you're doing anything 3D. We know 3D modeling, creating 3D assets, it's work, it's a lot of investment, it's a lot of knowledge that you have to have. So it is work, right? A lot of people will package this idea of, passive income, especially the marketers, where you just set up the system, you follow 12 steps, and you get to sit back in a beach in Maui somewhere, sip daiquiris while you have money hit your PayPal account. And that's not really reality, right? So if you ever heard of kind of it spun this way, it's bullshit. But if you do it the right way, I think it is very powerful for anybody to do, especially for an artist. So let's talk about the why. Why would an artist want to do passive income, open up that revenue stream, or really just take a gamble on it? Because at some level, there is somewhat of a gamble, right? The gamble is that you do work up front, and there is no guarantee that you're going to make money. I mean, that's just the reality of any business, or in this case, any passive income stream that you're trying to open up. It is upfront work to create that product, right? Those 3D models, which essentially becomes content for the end user. So why would you want to do this, and why is it beneficial for a 3D artist? And the way I think about it is that art as a whole is definitely undervalued, right? Most artists don't have the business acumen to actually price themselves properly. There's a lot of competition out in the market. If you are in any Facebook group, and I'm in a couple of them where it's for 3D artists, you'll see one person say, hey, I have this opening, or I'm looking for somebody. You get 20, 30 replies, right? People, you see their quotes, underpriced. I've done Upwork before. It's the same thing. Somebody puts up a post and you're competing with people that are just undercutting each other. And, so it's a real competitive landscape. And a lot of artists, what happens is that they tend to work for cheap or nearly free anyways, right? So, if your art, or just art as a whole, or 3D art for the most part, in a lot of pockets, especially in the freelance environment, is underpriced, then, I think that this gamble, right, is actually worth taking, right? Because if you're not generating income, or you're not generating great income, then what do you have to lose, right, besides trying this? So who can benefit from this? Well, really any artist can. Maybe you're a studio artist and you're between gigs. Maybe you are doing freelance and you're not getting the money that you want or feel like you deserve. Maybe you're a student that's approaching graduation, and sometimes no matter how good the school is or how hard you work at school, sometimes there's a gap of 6 months to a year where you actually have to digest and really just start working on your art to really just get better and have a portfolio that it's actually hireable, right? So, and sometimes what tends to happen is that there's this gap where you graduate, you got student loans, you got financial obligations, and the clock is ticking, and now you're no longer on deferment. Maybe you're moving out, you're on your own, you want to build your life, and those bills keep coming, right? The bills don't stop. You feel that financial pressure, and man, I'm gonna tell you guys something. I know a lot of people that gave up on their dream of being a 3D artist or artist in general because they can't find work quick enough, right? They think that being an artist is kind of like nursing, or, maybe being an accountant where as soon as you graduate, boom, you can get a job, right? And sometimes it doesn't pan out like that, and you just need extra time to work on your craft, right? And build those skills, being able to develop content for a platform like IMVU, Second Life, or maybe even Dota, where even if you don't make, worst case scenario, if you don't make any money, right? You're still working on your skills, right? And you'll be surprised that, a lot of students or a lot of artists in general, when I have these talks with them, they don't want to take these, kind of gambles on potentially working for free, because anytime that you pursue passive income, there is a possibility that you might not get paid, right? That's just the reality with any business. Anytime that you do work up front, you might not get paid, or the time that you put in might not be the return that you expect, right? But you'll be surprised how many of those same artists actually just take lower paying gigs, right? They either undercut their work. There's a lot of bullshit clients out there that will basically bait younger artists into working for exposure, working for percentage of sales when they really don't have anything going, right? So, and you'd be surprised how many artists will actually take those quote-unquote opportunities versus actually trying something like the Turbo Squids, the Second Lives, the IMVUs, trying to be a developer for Dota. So how was I able to make this money? Well, I started developing for a platform called IMVU. So what IMVU is a 3D chat where you have avatars, and these avatars basically you can buy products for. So customers go in there, they're able to interact with each other, and they buy stuff for them virtual selves, right? They dress them up. They have rooms. They can buy appliances. They can furnish those rooms. They could buy vehicles. So if you're a content creator for IMVU, you could sign up. You could model. You could texture. You could also sell animations. You sign up. And back when I started doing it, which was a couple of years ago, you had to go through these resellers, which basically IMVU runs on a currency of IMVU runs on a currency of credits. So when you sell your virtual products, you get credits. And back in the days, there was really you couldn't do anything with those credits but sell them to a reseller, right? So the reseller was the middleman, and they kind of acted as a currency exchange where, they would take a little bit of cut. So they'd take your credits, and then they would give you some dollar amount, and then they take those credits and flip them back to the community for a little bit less that IMVU, the actual platform, actually sold them for. So that was it. And then later on, maybe a couple of years ago, IMVU got rid of that, and then they just basically started paying the creators 40% worth of the credits. So that's basically how I and a lot of other creators were able to get in there. They were able to monetize and actually make pretty good living. So parallel to this, there is other communities like this. You probably heard of Second Life. There's also Dota. I know developers on those platforms as well, and they make very good money as well. Now, the one thing about IMVU that was unique, kind of cool, and actually allowed me to probably make more money than I should have, is that it works on a derivable system, right? So think about almost like a pyramid, right? Where let's just say I modeled a shirt, right? So I would model a t-shirt, a standard t-shirt, and then I would also upload the UVs to it. So if you wanted to be a developer, maybe you were good with textures, but you didn't know how to model and lay UVs, what you would do is go find my product on that page and actually derive from it, right? So what would happen is now you take that shirt and you could put, this design on it, or you could put your own design on it, and you would actually be able to use my mesh and actually make a living, or basically make an income from that mesh. So what would happen is the way the transaction chain would play out is that I would get my credits for it, and then the developer that sold the shirts would actually get their credits as well. So it opens you up as basically having multiple versions of that one object. And that's kind of what I started doing. I wasn't focusing on the end product, but I was having good meshes, good UVs, and a lot of people would derive. So I would put up a shirt, and instead of just a one-to-one sale or one-to-one product, I would have 300, 400, 500 derivations that I was actually making income from. So these were microtransactions. You weren't getting paid. Maybe it was a couple of cents, but people would go in here. They would spend a lot of time on the platform, and they would buy products, right? And essentially, you started building a name. You started building a rapport. You started getting requests. And I mainly did clothing. For men, I did some women. I also did a lot of accessories. But that was pretty much it. I was able to basically start building a name on my own out there. People would request. People started seeing they liked my products. They were easy to derive. A lot of creators also that didn't do the modeling but wanted to derive off me would ask me to do this, do that, and then I would start getting derivations from this. And I started making decent money, right? So I probably did over 100 products. Maybe it was about 5 to 6 months worth of actual work, and I made money for years on this, right? And I got to the point where I was making over $2,000 a month. Obviously, it wasn't always 2,000. Sometimes it dipped a little bit below. Sometimes it was over. But this was money that I made while I basically slept, right? And this is what really just changed my mind about making money as a whole, right? Is that I would put up these products, I would go to sleep, and then I would wake up in the morning and I see all my sales on the emails, and I actually made money while I slept. So that kind of opened up my world to just my thinking about making money, and really just flipped it. And I really just started believing in the power of creating digital content and putting it up for distribution and making money in a passive manner, right? So I was able to keep my day job, which I made good money. I was under salary, and then I also had that passive source of income coming in as I sold those products, right? And that got me into internet marketing. I started creating content online, not only the YouTube, but even before, I was doing Kindle ebooks. I started publishing books. So if you're an artist and you freelance, you know how hard it is to actually get the money that you think you are worth, your art is worth. And you're always, especially when you're starting out, when you're dealing with lower entry level clients with lower budgets, and obviously you got to kind of look at it from their side. There's a bunch of artists bidding for these jobs. They're usually trying to undercut you, and you have to explain the value of your product and why. And if you have 10 years of experience and the next guy comes along with 2, and maybe he's at 50% what you are, but that price is 90% cheaper, they're probably going to take the other guy, right? So it's just kind of a supply and demand, and there's also a value that it's hard to get as a artist what you think you are worth, right? And really just pricing your skill sets accordingly and getting the money that you're worth. So on the flip side, when you are in a community like this, whether it's IMVU, Second Life, you got to understand that people perceive your products differently because it has a different application. Some people, especially when Second Life had its boom, people were getting married there, right? People had weddings in Second Life. People getting married on IMVU. They actually did this in World of Warcraft. Customers have a time investment in these platforms, right? So, this is not only just a product to them, right? If you model a dress for them that they wore on their wedding day there, this has an emotional value, right? So they are willing to spend time on that platform and spend more money, right? They're engaged. That those polygons, those products have a different meaning to them, right? And they don't just see it as, an artist making something. It has an emotional value, and people are willing to pay more money for that and come back over and over and over to actually purchase your products, right? So it definitely takes on a different narrative. So these products that you create for these platforms, right? These people are actually emotionally connected to them. That means a memory to them, and they view it in a different light, and they're actually willing to pay money for these, right? And obviously you are selling them at a lower price point, so you continually sell them over and over. The distribution is taken care of by, in this case, would be IMVU, right? Maybe it's Second Life, maybe it's Dota, whatever platform you're at. But that's what I look for, right? Just a good audience base, a strong community, and just engagement, right? And these metrics that I talk about, I'm not just pulling them out of my rear end. These are metrics that I do invest in the stock market, and I do, trade video game companies, and I do sit on their conference calls. And audience and engagement, this is something that they talk about. So the audience is just the people playing a video game on a platform at a given time. That's kind of the size. But engagement is really the depth, right? How much time are they spending there? How much of a time and / emotional investment, right? Because I talked about this in an earlier video, where the more time you spend on something, right? We know that I never really got into World of Warcraft like that, but we all know that there's people that spent a lot of time on there. So what happens if you're 10 years in to World of Warcraft, you have a deeper connection with that platform, and you're less likely to basically jump ship. Okay, so that engagement is, an important metric, and, people are going to come back to those platforms, and they're going to keep buying, created content from developers like me, and hopefully like you if you start developing for them. I do want you guys to always stay working on your art side, but, take a chance on these. And for me, it was life-changing, right? It just flipped the whole script on how I thought about making money. And it was really just the catalyst of a lot of good things that happened to me when I started, believing in digital products, when I started understanding passive income, understanding creating multiple sources of income, right? That opened up a lot of doors for me. And I want you guys to just work on your business acumen as artists, right? That's something that it's going to be very valuable. You'll be able to take this to the grave, right? Because when you're on a platform like this, you're learning, right? You're learning how to price your products, right? You're learning how to cater to an audience that you're building, right? You're building all these skill sets that you can take and actually do anything with, whether it's art related or not, right? And I think that this business acumen, this business side is what a lot of artists lack, and in turn why a lot of artists get screwed over, right? And they have problems pricing their work, getting the work that they want, understanding, why clients do certain things. And hopefully this video can definitely help change a little bit of the way you think about your artwork, how you monetize, and really just open up your eyes to the options that are out there. And you don't have to do what I do. You don't have to go on there and do IMVU, but just know that, there's a lot of other ways of creating income with your modeling skill sets besides just doing the same old trading your time for money, right? And, I want to challenge you guys, make some passive income. Like, just go up there, whether it's Turbo Squid, doesn't matter. Second Life, IMVU, find a platform that has a content creator program and they pay a percentage of sales or royalty. Put some products up there, don't put one, maybe 5, 10, and see how it goes. And maybe you make a sale or two, but I'm guarantee you go to sleep and you get that email in the morning that you sold 2 or 3 products. Your mind's gonna be blown. That's what happened to me, and it's gonna change the way that you think, and you're gonna be a believer. Because I wasn't a believer, right? We're all kind of conditioned. We're in school. They don't teach us this stuff. I mean, school here, they teach us how to be factory workers. They teach us how to be robots. Go in a cubicle, follow directions, clock in, clock out. That's what the educational system's set up for. It's not set up for passive income. Passive income is for the big boys, the businesses. But now with this internet, with these marketplaces, there's a whole new ball game of ways to create income for a lot of artists, including 3D artists. The internet is changing the world, folks. Not only how we communicate, but also how we, earn money. And trust me, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of artists making money out there. And the reason is, why would they tell you, right? But I'm gonna tell you because I'm here for you, and I want to see you do better. And there's no affiliate link to this. I'm not going to make any money or lose any money whether you try this or not. So I just want to see you guys succeed. You come to my channel, you show me love, and I'm showing you love back. And that's pretty much what it is. I want to see you guys do better. There's nothing more satisfying than, if I were to wake up, a couple weeks from now and I get comments in here saying, hey, JL, I tried IMVU, I tried Dota, I tried Turbo Squid, right? And I was able to make income. I was able to help my mom this month. I was able to help my sister, go to college. I was able to buy groceries this week, right? So that's what I want to see you guys do. I want to see you guys do better. I want to see you guys just evolve, not only as artists, because I do teach you the art side. You obviously come to my channel to see Maya tutorials, but I want to have you guys think and develop your business acumen, right? I'm tired of seeing artists, undercut themselves, right? As artists, that's why I'm doing this. I want to see artists be able to basically make good money, because you know how hard it is to put yourself through school and, not to find out that you're not good enough, or that maybe you're 6 months to being employable, right? That's a hard pill to swallow. And just 3D art in itself, it's so time intensive, right? We put a lot of time to be good at this. And I want to see you guys rewarded. And I do want to see the day where 3D artists are actually respected, like lawyers are, like doctors are. You know, there's not one damn doctor in America that's gonna do a free checkup, or a lawyer that's gonna take your case for free. But why are 3D artists expected to do so, right? Why do we have to undercut ourselves or work for free, right? To me, that seems ludicrous, but it's gonna continue to happen because 3D artists don't have the business side of things, right? They don't understand a lot of things, and it's gonna continue to happen, right? If you have a free workforce, or free or cheap, why are clients gonna pay? They can go to the next Joe Schmo that does their character model for exponentially cheaper, or does their design work for exponentially cheaper. And hopefully, if you have more options of income, you can pass the bullshit, right? You can pass those emails of work for exposure, or work for this opportunity, or work for percentage of sales. And I've been there. Don't get me wrong. I've taken those jobs, and it hurts when you work hard and you don't see that return. Where you do a project, or you do a book illustration, and the artist, or the author pays you on a projected royalty, and that book never gets published. So let me know what you guys thought of the video in the comments down below, and let me know what you thought about the topic. If you want more content like this, and I'm excited, and I hope that this could actually impact you guys' life for the better. Until we meet again, I will catch you next time.